It was a bustling Monday morning at Horizon Tech, a modern co-working office in downtown Atlanta, filled with glass walls, sleek desks, and the low hum of conversations and keyboards. Derek Thompson, a black man in his early 30s, walked confidently through the open plan office carrying a laptop bag over his shoulder. He was the newly appointed department head, recently promoted due to his years of experience, innovative strategies, and leadership skills. Derek's calm, professional demeanor radiated quiet authority, even as he navigated through a sea of employees who had yet to recognize his position. As Derek approached the team for introductions, a young white woman named Claire Reynolds, one of the junior staff, noticed him and smirked. She leaned slightly toward her colleague and whispered sarcastically, "Oh, great, another new guy. Let's see how long he lasts." She chuckled, clearly mocking him under the guise of casual office humor, drawing the attention of a few other coworkers who exchanged awkward glances. Derek, overhearing the comment, maintained a composed expression, ignoring the sarcasm and continuing to introduce himself politely to his team, projecting calm authority with every gesture and word. Claire, emboldened by what she assumed was Derek's lack of seniority, continued to make subtle comments under her breath as he addressed the group, questioning his expertise and making dismissive remarks about his approach. Derek kept his composure, responding with polite acknowledgement, but never engaging in argument or retaliation. Other employees noticed the tension and watched quietly, sensing the subtle conflict and the dramatic contrast between her attitude and his calm presence. Just as Claire prepared to make another sarcastic comment, the office manager stepped forward and formally introduced Derek as the new department head. "Everyone, this is Derek Thompson, who will be leading the team starting today," the manager announced. Claire froze instantly, her smirk replaced with shock and disbelief. Her eyes widened as she realized that the man she had been mocking was, in fact, her new boss, responsible for evaluating her performance, assigning projects, and shaping the direction of the team. The room fell into a brief, stunned silence as coworkers glanced between Derek and Claire, some suppressing smiles, others simply absorbing the sudden reversal of power. Derek maintained his composure, his posture upright and calm, exuding authority without raising his voice or displaying any overt aggression. He offered a polite professional greeting to the team, his calm demeanor reinforcing the weight of his position. Claire, still frozen, struggled to regain her composure, aware that her earlier mockery had instantly backfired. The contrast between her assumptions and reality was stark, and the lesson in humility was unmistakable. Patrons of the office who had observed the encounter quietly recognized the sudden shift in dynamics. Authority, respect, and influence were not matters of casual assumptions, but of experience, competence, and composure. By the end of the introduction, Derek had moved on to discuss team responsibilities and upcoming projects with measured clarity, while Claire remained silently aware of her earlier misjudgment. The office atmosphere, once light and casual, had shifted subtly, emphasizing professionalism, respect, and the immediate consequences of underestimating someone based on superficial impressions. Derek's calm authority and earned respect had transformed what could have been a tense moment into a clear demonstration of leadership, leaving an impression on both Claire and the other employees that would linger well beyond the morning meeting. The day after Derek Thompson's introduction, the office hummed with the usual activity of typing keyboards, ringing phones, and quiet conversations, but the air carried a subtle tension as employees adjusted to the new hierarchy. Claire Reynolds, still processing the shock of Derek's role, moved cautiously around the office, her previous confidence replaced with a mixture of curiosity and apprehension. She avoided direct interactions with Derek initially, watching him from a distance as he navigated through the workspace with calm efficiency, greeting team members politely and checking on their progress. Every gesture he made reinforced his authority, his composed demeanor, a quiet assertion that he was both competent and fully in command. Throughout the morning, Derek conducted individual check-ins with team members, discussing project updates, deadlines, and performance expectations. His tone was measured and clear, his presence commanding attention without the need for raised voices or displays of dominance. Claire observed silently, noting how employees responded to him with respect and attentiveness, aware that his leadership was earned through skill, professionalism, and steady composure rather than intimidation. The contrast between her earlier assumptions and the reality of Derek's authority weighed heavily on her, and she began to reflect on the arrogance and casual mockery she had exhibited just a day prior. Later in the afternoon, Derek led a team meeting to outline goals and workflow for the upcoming project cycle. He spoke with clarity and confidence, ensuring that every team member understood their responsibilities while maintaining an atmosphere of collaboration and mutual respect. Claire, seated quietly at the conference table, listened intently, her earlier smirks replaced with focused attention. She recognized that Derek's authority was not simply a title, but a combination of experience, competence, and composure, which commanded immediate acknowledgement from everyone present. The subtle lesson in humility was evident not only to her but to several other junior staff who had underestimated him at first glance. By evening, Derek returned to his office to review reports, respond to emails, and finalize plans for the next day. Claire, moving past her initial discomfort, began to approach her work with greater focus and respect for the standards Derek set. She noted how his quiet, calm presence influenced the office environment, creating a culture where competence, composure, and professionalism were immediately recognized and respected. Observing his ability to lead without confrontation reinforced the lesson she had learned. Respect is earned through action, diligence, and consistent demonstration of authority, not through casual assumptions or mocking behavior. As the workday ended, Claire reflected quietly on her own behavior, understanding that the brief moment of mockery had been a misjudgment with immediate consequences. Derek's composed handling of the office, coupled with his clear authority and experience, had transformed both the dynamics of the team and her perception of leadership. She carried this lesson with her as she packed up to leave, fully aware that her initial assumptions had been shattered by the quiet power of professionalism and earned respect. By midweek, Derek Thompson had firmly established his presence in the office, his calm authority and professional composure now recognized by everyone, including Claire Reynolds. The workspace had subtly shifted. Employees moved with attentive focus, meetings ran smoothly, and the overall atmosphere reflected respect for his leadership. Derek navigated the office with quiet confidence, checking on project progress, offering guidance where necessary, and addressing concerns with clear, measured communication. Each interaction reinforced the idea that his authority was earned through competence, experience, and steady composure, rather than through displays of ego or intimidation. Throughout the morning, Derek held one-on-one sessions with his team members, reviewing performance metrics, providing feedback, and setting goals for upcoming projects. His tone was calm and deliberate, instilling both confidence and focus in the employees he managed. Claire observed from her desk, her previous arrogance replaced by attentive observation. She noticed how coworkers responded promptly and respectfully to Derek, their behavior reflecting recognition of his earned authority. The contrast between her assumptions and the reality of his competence weighed on her, subtly reshaping her perception of leadership and respect in the workplace. Later in the afternoon, Derek conducted a collaborative brainstorming session with the team, encouraging input while guiding discussions with clarity and precision. Claire found herself participating more thoughtfully, aware that the atmosphere he cultivated demanded attention, focus, and professionalism. The subtle lesson in humility persisted throughout the room. Casual mockery and assumptions could never undermine the authority of someone whose credibility was grounded in skill, knowledge, and composure. Observers noted how Derek's quiet confidence naturally commanded attention, transforming what might have been a tense or awkward dynamic into one of mutual respect and productive engagement. By evening, Derek returned to his office to review project updates, respond to emails, and prepare for the next day. Claire, reflecting on her interactions and observations, began to internalize the lessons she had witnessed. She understood that leadership is communicated through actions and demeanor as much as through title or authority, and that respect is earned through competence, composure, and the consistent demonstration of skill. Derek's presence had reshaped the office environment, quietly reinforcing the standards of professionalism, accountability, and mutual respect that would guide the team moving forward. As the day ended, Claire left her desk with a renewed sense of perspective. She recognized the impact of her initial mockery, the subtle but undeniable authority Derek possessed, and the profound lesson in humility and respect that had unfolded before her eyes. Derek, calm and composed, continued to move through the office with measured confidence, fully aware that the impressions he left were shaping not just individual perceptions, but the broader culture of the team. His quiet, earned authority had already transformed the dynamics of the office, leaving a lasting influence on everyone who witnessed it. By the following morning, Derek Thompson had fully settled into his leadership role, his presence in the office commanding quiet respect without any need for overt displays of authority. The open plan workspace was alive with activity, keyboards clacking, phones ringing, and colleagues discussing projects. Yet Derek moved calmly through the environment, checking on teams, addressing questions, and guiding discussions with measured precision. Claire Reynolds, now fully aware of his position and capabilities, kept a careful distance at first, observing his interactions with both curiosity and a sense of humility. She noticed how effortlessly Derek maintained control of the office dynamic, balancing assertiveness with approachability, and how employees responded immediately to his guidance, reflecting both trust and respect. Throughout the morning, Derek held a series of project review meetings, methodically assessing progress, identifying potential challenges, and offering clear, actionable advice. His demeanor remained composed and professional, each word and gesture reinforcing his competence and earned authority. Claire watched quietly, her earlier arrogance tempered by the realization of how her assumptions had failed. She observed how colleagues actively engaged with Derek, acknowledging his insight and responding promptly to his instructions. The contrast between her mockery and the respect he commanded highlighted a lesson she could no longer ignore. Leadership is demonstrated through consistent professionalism, knowledge, and composure, not by ego or superficial bravado. Later in the afternoon, Derek initiated a collaborative strategy session, inviting input from team members while maintaining focus and clarity. Claire found herself contributing more thoughtfully, aware that the atmosphere he fostered demanded attentiveness, accountability, and respect for expertise. Other employees followed his example, recognizing that his authority was grounded in skill, experience, and calm confidence. Derek's approach transformed what might have been a tense or uncomfortable environment into one of productive engagement and clear communication, emphasizing that respect is both given and earned through observable behavior. By evening, Derek returned to his office to finalize project summaries, respond to emails, and plan for the next day's tasks. Claire reflected on her behavior and the lessons she had absorbed, understanding that her initial mockery had been both misplaced and counterproductive. Derek's quiet composure, clear authority, and professional demeanor had not only corrected assumptions, but had reshaped the office culture subtly and effectively. As she left for the day, Claire carried a newfound awareness of humility, respect, and the importance of composure in professional interactions, while Derek moved through the office with the same calm assurance that had earned him recognition and respect from everyone who observed him. By midweek, Derek Thompson had fully established his influence and authority within the office, his calm, composed presence shaping the behavior and attitudes of employees naturally. The story of his sudden introduction as department head and the shock it had caused Claire Reynolds had quietly circulated among colleagues, reinforcing the lesson that assumptions based on appearances are often misleading. Derek moved through the office with measured confidence, checking on teams, answering questions, and offering guidance with clarity and precision. Every interaction demonstrated professionalism, competence, and calm authority, setting a standard that others instinctively followed without the need for confrontation. Throughout the morning, Derek conducted one-on-one progress reviews with team members, evaluating work, providing constructive feedback, and reinforcing goals with patience and clarity. Claire observed attentively, recognizing how effortlessly Derek balanced authority with approachability, commanding respect not through intimidation but through knowledge, composure, and consistency. She noted the immediate and respectful responses from colleagues, realizing how far her assumptions had underestimated his influence and capability. The contrast between her previous mockery and the genuine authority he projected highlighted a lesson in humility she could no longer ignore. Later in the afternoon, Derek led a collaborative brainstorming session, guiding discussions while encouraging participation from all team members. Claire found herself contributing more thoughtfully, aware that the atmosphere demanded focus, professionalism, and respect for experience. Every suggestion Derek made, every subtle direction, reinforced his credibility and authority, demonstrating that leadership is earned through skill and consistent composure rather than title alone. The office, once casual and informal, had shifted to a space where respect, accountability, and attentive engagement were the natural norms, subtly influenced by Derek's presence. By evening, Derek returned to his office to finalize project updates, respond to messages, and plan for the next day. Claire reflected on the lessons she had absorbed over the past few days, understanding that her initial mockery had been both misplaced and a reflection of assumption and arrogance. Derek's quiet authority had reshaped her perception of leadership, teaching her that composure, competence, and consistent professional behavior demand respect more effectively than any display of dominance or superficial confidence. As she prepared to leave, Claire felt a newfound awareness of humility and the power of presence, while Derek moved through the office with calm assurance, fully aware that his influence and conduct had left a lasting impact on everyone who observed him. By the following week, Derek Thompson had become an unshakable presence within the office, his calm authority and consistent professionalism influencing not only the workflow, but also the culture of the team. The initial shock Claire Reynolds had experienced upon learning his position had evolved into a quiet respect and attentiveness that shaped her behavior. Derek moved through the office with a composed confidence, checking in on projects, guiding discussions, and mentoring team members with clarity and patience. His presence subtly set the tone, demonstrating that true leadership is recognized through action, composure, and earned competence rather than through assertive posturing or superficial bravado. Throughout the morning, Derek met with team members individually, reviewing ongoing work, offering guidance, and addressing challenges with steady focus. Claire observed him carefully, noting how colleagues responded immediately to his instructions, not out of fear, but out of respect for his knowledge, judgment, and consistent behavior. She reflected on her own earlier attitude, realizing that her casual mockery had been rooted in assumptions that had been proven completely false. Derek's calm and professional demeanor had effectively corrected the misconceptions of both peers and supervisors, teaching a subtle but enduring lesson about authority, perception, and humility. Later in the afternoon, Derek facilitated a collaborative session to strategize upcoming projects, encouraging contributions while maintaining clear guidance. Every instruction, suggestion, and subtle gesture reinforced his credibility and command of the team, demonstrating that leadership is grounded in competence, composure, and thoughtful communication. Claire, now fully aware of the authority Derek wielded, began participating more thoughtfully, listening carefully, and engaging with a renewed sense of respect. Observers quietly recognized the contrast between the arrogance of casual mockery and the quiet power of earned authority, a dynamic that Derek exemplified effortlessly. By evening, Derek returned to his office to finalize updates, respond to communications, and plan the following day's workflow. The office had subtly transformed over the week, reflecting a culture of attentiveness, professionalism, and mutual respect under his guidance. Claire, reflecting on her behavior, understood that leadership is not demonstrated through appearances, assertiveness, or assumptions, but through consistent composure, knowledge, and earned credibility. As she prepared to leave for the day, she carried with her a deeper awareness of humility and respect, while Derek, calm and assured, moved through the office with the same quiet authority that had commanded acknowledgement from every member of the team, leaving a lasting impact on the office dynamic. By the end of the week, Derek Thompson had fully established his authority and influence within the office, his composed presence now recognized and respected by every employee. Claire Reynolds, once quick to mock him, now approached interactions with attentiveness, humility, and professionalism, aware of the stark contrast between her assumptions and the reality of his competence. Derek moved through the office with calm assurance, checking on projects, providing guidance, and mentoring team members with a steady, confident demeanor. His leadership was evident not in forceful commands, but in the subtle authority and respect he inspired through skill, composure, and consistent professionalism. Throughout the day, Derek engaged with employees individually and in group settings, maintaining clear communication and measured direction. Team members responded with attentiveness and cooperation, recognizing that his authority was grounded in experience, knowledge, and steady judgment, rather than superficial displays of power. Claire, reflecting on her earlier behavior, internalized the lessons of humility, respect, and the importance of composure in professional environments. She understood that leadership is demonstrated through consistent actions, thoughtful decision-making, and calm confidence, qualities Derek exemplified effortlessly. Later in the afternoon, Derek oversaw project planning and collaborative discussions, guiding the team with subtle but unmistakable authority. Every interaction reinforced the culture of professionalism and respect that had taken root, shaping not only workflow, but also interpersonal dynamics. Claire participated with careful thought, fully aware that her engagement was now measured against the standard Derek had set. Observers in the office, whether consciously or subconsciously, absorbed the lesson that assumptions based on appearances or casual impressions can be misleading, and that respect and authority are always earned through composure, skill, and consistency. By evening, Derek completed his daily review of tasks, finalizing updates and preparing for the following day. The office, once tense and uncertain during his initial introduction, had transformed into a space of professional respect and focused collaboration. Claire, walking toward her exit, reflected on the profound lesson she had received. Casual mockery and arrogance are quickly dismantled by calm authority, competence, and earned respect. Derek left the office calmly, confident in the enduring influence of his behavior, knowing that the impressions he had made would guide the team's conduct, culture, and perception of leadership long into the future. His quiet composure and professional presence had not only corrected assumptions, but had fundamentally shaped the office environment, leaving a lasting legacy of respect, authority, and exemplary leadership.